Okay, guys, welcome to the fan show after Tottenham Hotspur have given a footballing lesson to Bodø Glimt out in northern Norway. Bodø 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. There was only one team in it over two legs, a fully professional performance. In this show, I will be talking to Spurs fans from all around the world and giving them a voice to talk about how ecstatic they are after that win that takes us to the final. We've talked for years, haven't we, about how we would accept 17th place in the league to get a trophy, and especially a European trophy. And now the possibility is actually mad and there. And Tottenham Hotspur will play Manchester United in the final, in an all-English final in Europe. And I'll tell you this now. My dad was a Liverpool fan, but he wasn't really around that much. So he never got me into football. But my stepdad got me into football because he was a Manchester United fan. And he hated Arsenal so much that he bought me a Le Coq Sportif Spurs away shirt in 1987, light blue. And that is why I support Tottenham. And now I think I will be going to Spain with my stepdad to watch the final of the Europa League, Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. And let's just say I hope he pays for it all. But let's get out there and talk to some of you guys. And let's start with my guy in Malta, Melvin. How are you, my man? Oh, are you on mute? Or have I got you muted? There you are.
Now?
I can hear you, mate.
Yeah. I'm speechless, to be honest. I'm absolutely speechless. I don't know what to feel.
Tottenham performance ever.
It was I don't know what to say, because we looked epic. We looked so calm, and it wasn't what I expected. And I was so nervous to the game, Barnaby. When I spoke to you after the 3-1, and we were both, listen, you know, I was gutted. We conceded the goal, but that was brilliant. I mean, the defending, the effort from the team, and that was insane. I was so happy the whole time. The first half, I was counting every minute for it. I wasn't enjoying it, but until we scored. Then once we scored, I was loving every second of it. It was a real team performance. I thought Bentancur in the middle was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult to shout out just one player, because a lot of them played well.
Because they played like a team, didn't they, Melvin? They played like a team, something we haven't seen for so long.
Yeah, they did. In Europe especially, we've had performances like today where we've pulled together as a team. And what makes today even sweeter is what happened yesterday. And so to get to a final and potentially end our trophy drought with a series trophy is brilliant. And for the first time in a long time, I actually feel like confident going into the final. I don't know why. It's in the past, we always played opposition who are either the champions or the best team. We've always played City, Liverpool at their best, Chelsea at their best, United at their best. This is not United at their best. I know this is not even Spurs at their best, but I just feel it has to be our season. And Postecoglou's mentality, and I think the way he speaks to the players, I think the message he put across to the fans, I think he understands the fans quite well. And I think the players will relish ending this trophy drought. It's just, I'm so happy at the moment. And I'm jealous. If you're going to Spain, I'm going to be really jealous, because I really want to go.
Isn't Malta closer to Spain than where I am?
What I've seen, the tickets from Malta to go to Spain is a lot cheaper. I just don't know if it's worth going if I don't have a ticket.
It is. I'll tell you, Melvin, it is. It is, because you don't know if and when it's going to happen again. You just got to be around there. And I don't just mean on the day of the game, like try, if there's possible, this is just what I think. Try and be around it for the few days around it. Just because like I said, I don't know if it's going to happen again. And because in Madrid, I was in the stadium and literally 22 seconds, my head came up and that's it. We didn't get a kick. And this game will not be like that game, because neither of those teams, whoever goes ahead, neither of those teams are good enough to, I think, keep it out for the whole game against each other.
Yeah. I'm jealous for the 404 fans that made it to this game. I'm really jealous because you could really say that with like I was there. I was in Bodø catching 2 flights. It was like I was joking with Chris and told him you have to go through the wardrobe of Narnia to get there. It's that kind of journey. But the videos looked amazing. The game didn't disappoint. I didn't think we would score, to be honest, but something I complained about was the corners in the first leg. And
you did.
We managed to score from a corner kick, which I was happy with. But yeah, I'm delighted. Honestly, I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. The season for me was hanging on a knife edge, and for us to lose this game, Postecoglou's head would have been on a spike, Game of Thrones style, I believe. Yep. And but now it's the opposite. We're in a final, and people, if we win it, will be talking about statues and that kind of thing, because we've not won a European trophy in such a long time. I've never seen a European trophy. The only trophy I've seen is 2 League Cups in my life, and I was too young to really enjoy the first one. But it's a great day for the club, for the fans, and I'm happy in a way we got Manchester United, because if we do win, it's an opposition that will give us respect. I feel as a club we've been mocked way too many times by pundits, by opposition fans, by rival fans, by even fans from other leagues. And if we beat Manchester United, who are a very big club, it's a way for us to get some respect. And it's something that I want as a football club. I want to enjoy winning a trophy, and winning it against a very big team is something that I will also want as well, because it's not like you're winning it against a small team. So it makes it even sweeter, I believe.
Talk to me about, if you had to choose a man of the match tonight, where would you go?
I don't know. I think I still have to give it to Solanke. Worked so hard and was really effective with him pressing him. I thought Richarlison was a bit weak, looked a bit tired, looked a bit leggy, but that's expected because he's only played a few games. But Solanke was immense. When he received the ball to his feet, he relieved pressure a bit, won a few fouls, and then to score. For me, it was him. But there's also, you could say, Van de Ven, Romero. I thought Udogie was really excellent. Udogie was, yep. I think he's really finding his form. I think he had a very, very poor season, but the last 4 or 5 games, Udogie's been playing really well, and we need him. And even I'm happy with Bissouma as well. I thought Bissouma was okay. Maybe grew into the game. It took him a while to get there. And Bentancur's been playing really well as well. So people are finding really good form, getting to the business end of the season. So lots of positives. And this is why I wore. This is the first time I'm wearing this shirt.
You wearing your lucky shirt, me drinking my lucky beer.
This is the first time I'm wearing this shirt. This was not gifted, but a guy sold it to me, Matt Jones from the podcast, and he won't be happy that I'm wearing it. He tells me don't wear it. He said this is a valuable shirt, but it has to be a lucky shirt, and had to be on a day like today. And I feel we made part of history today, in a semi-final like this. And now it's time to go to Bilbao, enjoy the week leading up to it, because I feel that's a magical moment to be a Spurs fan, because everybody will be happy, everybody will be excited, and we need to get it over the line.
I completely agree. Listen, Melvin, thanks so much as ever being part of the show, and it's just so nice to know we can enjoy the next couple of weeks. And think of some magic that could happen. I'll speak to you again soon.
See you. All the best.
Top man. Bye-bye. Okay, next up, I'm going to go to Steve.
Hey,
Steve and his son. How are you feeling, guys?
Just come back from the pub, mate.
Yes. What did you think of that performance?
Well, it was really. They played like you said. They played like a team, didn't they? And I think that's what we've been crying out for. And for some reason in Europe, we've been playing like a team. Pretty much most of the campaign, particularly knockout games, everyone played really, really well. We restricted them to virtually nothing. It was just a really stress-free night, wasn't it? It was like as soon as Solanke scored, I totally relaxed. I came on last week and so I thought they were great opponents for us in the semi-final, and we just handled it really, really well, didn't we? I think that we kind of built it up to be thinking that it's going to be so difficult, but we took the game. We started well, I thought, in the first 20 minutes and took the sting out of the match, played really well, and if anything, got better as the game went along, I felt. And it was very unlike Spurs. It was a very unstressful, kind of stress-free match, and everyone played well. I think in particular, I thought Poro and Destiny were just immense. The amount of, up and down the pitch constantly. I thought they both did great jobs. And when Mickey and Romero play together centre half, it's just such a difference in it to the team.
Yeah. It's about 40-45% better.
Yeah,
when they're properly up for it.
Absolutely, and when they're both concentrating, and particularly Romero, and I've got to say, Romero's leap for that first goal was incredible.
Amazing. That's what I'm talking about, and I don't know if you agree with this, and I said it already, but this is one of the reasons I'm kind of like, we could do this, because Romero suddenly, when he wants it, he's like, I know how to get these across the line. I know when I have to raise my game. And you could see it when he's like chest bumping his teammates, getting up above everyone for that header, just showing in the big moments we have somebody on that pitch who really knows how to do it. And as long as he's playing, it's a real possibility. Let me just give you a stat that I've just seen on X. Solanke in big games for Spurs this season. Remember that some Spurs fans have been giving him stick. 2 goals against Man United in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals, assist versus Liverpool in the Carabao Cup semi-final, 2 assists versus AZ Alkmaar in the round of 16 of the Europa League, goal against Frankfurt in the quarterfinals, goal in the first and second leg against Bodø Glimt. People have been unfairly giving him stick when he is so vital to this team.
I mean, I think like when Vicario's got his head on right, and I think when, like I said, Romero's really up for it, and you got Bentancur in the middle, and then you got Solanke up front. That's a solid centre. And I think one of the things that's been interesting in Europe is like how little Vicario plays the ball out, doesn't he? He actually is hitting it long, and it's like just play. Sometimes in games you've got to play percentages, and like I think that's been my frustrations this season, is that we've been playing against teams who, okay, I'm not going to be speaking negative. Let's not talk negative stuff. But I think like today and other European away games, when you play a more percentage-based football at times, and we just seem much stronger to me. And today it was just a really, really good, solid performance. It was very stress-free. It was a million miles away from the drama of Ajax 6 years ago. But you know what? Like as soon as the second goal went in, I felt like when the first goal went in, I was totally relaxed and like. I go back a bit longer than you. And my first European final I remember was not a good one. It was against Feyenoord in 1974. Okay. So that's which we lost over 2 games. But I remember Anderlecht really, really well, and that was an amazing night. And these European finals are something that we really must relish. And also, what a great opponent, isn't it? Spurs Man United. It's just a fantastic opponent. And what happened last night just, was like, that was great watching them get beat. And for us to be in the final with Man U, how ironic is that when you think about the whole season?
I also think that Spurs and Man United fans, certainly, like I mentioned earlier, my stepdad bought me a Spurs shirt. That's why I support Spurs. But he always talked about Spurs being almost like the Man United of the South. Both clubs trying to play football in the right way. Do things. So I think Spurs fans and United fans, they don't have any kind of ill will towards each other. So I think for those people going out to Bilbao, I think it could just be a really enjoyable trip. But also the other thing I did, I saw a social media post last night from a Liverpool fan saying, I really hope Spurs get to that final, because when they were in Madrid, the fans were so amazing. They didn't kind of kick up a fuss about us beating them and blah, blah, blah. And so I just think it could just be an all-round a great trip. Whereas if we were, God, my God, imagine if we were playing like fucking Chelsea or someone like that.
Yeah,
it would be a nightmare. And I think, look, realistically, this isn't to say that we're going to do it, but you would, on paper, you'd rather be playing Man United in Bilbao than Bilbao in Bilbao.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so. And I think that we beat them 3 times this season. So it's not like we can't beat them. This is not the Alex Ferguson Man United team. They'll be thinking this isn't the Pochettino Spurs team. So it evens itself out. But you have to think, God, this is a fantastic chance, isn't it, to get us over the line. You really must think that. And, you know, and what a great night that will be. And let's just hope they can do it. And it was just so nice to see Spurs today just play really professionally, not do anything stupid. And every player played really well. They're all playing for their shirt. It was great. And that's how it should be. And fair play. You know, I've been very critical of the manager. Fair play to him for getting us to the final. So I'm not going to, no more criticism from him. And great night. And let's all enjoy it. Let's enjoy tonight. Let's also enjoy the final. And if you go, have a great time.
I will do. And listen, thank you so much for being a part of the show, Steve. And let's speak again. And after some of these kind of not important games in between now and the 21st.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Look after yourself. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye, Angie. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, next, because he's been a while, I'm going to go to what looks like outside a swimming pool or something with Scott.
I went to a bar, and I knew this was going to be a problem because I wanted to also be on this. And we had Man U guys right next to me. Oh, my God. When they scored their 3rd or 4th goal, I don't know how many they got, they're like saying all sorts of crap about Spurs this, crap Spurs that, never win anything.
All right.
And I'm like, God, maybe I should have just stayed home. Spurs fans were awesome, though. It's nice to celebrate with fans.
Who impressed you playing for Spurs tonight, Scott? Have you got headphones or something? I'm just hearing a bit of feedback. Sorry.
Yeah, you're actually hearing traffic. I can't. They're playing music outside this bar, so
no, I can hear. It's all right. The traffic's fine. It's just there's a bit of echo. But anyway, carry on. Yeah, who impressed you playing for Spurs tonight? It's all good.
Okay, so Dom, Mickey, just so solid every time, and then Romero, that leap. I mean, you could just see that he was really reaching up for that header. And it's like you were saying. It's like, why doesn't he do this all the time? And I really think definitely sell him high. Tell him to Atletico, whoever, after this time.
Well, if he wins, if he lifts the trophy as potentially the captain, if Sonny's not fit, then he can go to Atletico Madrid with my blessing. The transfer fee will go up another £20 million, and he can do whatever he wants, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly, that's how I feel. Yeah, and I thought Biss had a pretty good game. I think Ange hugged him for a reason. He played smart. He had a couple of times where you could just see that he could easily have committed a yellow card tackle, and he just kind of let up, kicked one out of bounds. I don't know. I was impressed with him. Bentancur was good. I think he was a little quiet for central mid.
I think he was just doing his job. I really think he was just doing his job.
That's the thing. Central mid, you never get that credit. It's like you're either doing your job or you mess up. And everyone always sees the mess ups. You just never see their job because it's always so consistent. I thought Richie was poor. He didn't look very good.
I thought he worked really hard. I think his job was basically to be physical, and he did it. I know what you mean, because I'm sure you thinking about that opportunity towards the back end of the first half when he could drive at the, I think it was first half anyway, when he could drive.
He didn't look confident. He looked like, I need to find someone to pass to.
I just think him and Kulusevski look a bit like men who have just come back from injuries, but yeah.
Kulu, though, had a good second half, and I don't know if it was the fact that they put him out to the right, or he just started growing into the game, but he definitely played better in the second half. First half, he didn't have much of an influence.
So let's look positively on towards that final. What do you think? Like you said, you've been hearing from Man United fans in the bar all night. Do you think we can? It sounds like they're going into it with a bit of complacency, like it'll be easy for them.
Oh man, I get it. You know, I don't get that very often here in Portland. A lot of soccer fans are football fans, but you know, you just don't come into that very often here. You don't get this like chanting at you and talking about Spurs never winning anything. I mean, it's hard because we beat them 3 times, and you almost feel like, that could be good because we got their number, or maybe they're due. I feel like we're going to beat them. And I almost feel like Ange has just compromised the season. He has put every ounce of energy into the Europa. And this is what we all wanted, except we never wanted this tailspin into Neverworld in the EPL. But I think this is what he's wanted from day one. Yeah, so I think we're gonna win it. You know, I hate predictions. I'm not a gambler, but
I love that, Scott, and I'm
like we're gonna beat them.
No, I love that, and I'm refusing to countenance any negativity. So basically, I'm now banning from these watch-alongs.
You sound so positive. I can't believe it.
I'm banning from these watch-alongs and Spurs, fan chats after the game. Any talk of the Premier League.
I've heard you. Keep it up.
No more talk of the Premier League whatsoever. Listen, Scott, I'm sorry to break in, but we've got loads of people to talk to, so I'm going to have to let you go. But thanks so much for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it.
Good to see you. Good to see you after a win for once.
Exactly. Come on, you Spurs. Top man, bye. Okay, next over to the Czech Republic and Steve.
Absolutely over the moon.
Yes, Steve. Fantastic. Yes.
I've always
tell me how you talk to me about how you took in that game tonight.
Yeah, initially, like most people, I was a bit sort of a bit nervous with the pitch and what have you, and the way we can play. It was fine for the first 25 minutes. We contained them really well, but not really look like scoring. But then again, they didn't look like scoring. But in the second half, we really started to dominate, and it was a fantastic striker's goal from Dom. Brilliant head down, as people have said, from Romero. And a nice little icing on the cake, a bit of a fortuitous goal, albeit like half a cross from... yes, anyway.
Wait, which goal are you talking about? Sorry, Steve.
The second goal, from...
Porro,
yeah, sorry.
Porro's missed it cross.
I'm so excited. I'm losing people's names. I had quite a bit to drink in the run up to the game because of nerves. But no, fantastic. Like you said, no negatives really at all. Man of the match for me is between Dom and I thought Bentancur was a bit of an unsung hero.
Just worked so hard, didn't he? Did his job so well.
Yeah, he did it really well. A lot of tidying up, hardly ever put a foot wrong. And as someone has already mentioned, first half I wasn't happy with Bissouma, but mainly because of that sort of slashed effort just before half time into no man's land. But after that, in the second half, he broke up play quite well, and distribution was very good. No, everyone played. Like you say, for the first time in a long time, we played as a team. We did the similar thing against Frankfurt away, and to an extent against Alkmaar. And I watched all the home legs. I was in England again last week for the first leg of this round, and amazingly impressed by what I saw, and I thought they were very lucky to get that goal in the 87th minute. Well, yeah, we're through. It's just amazing. Now I'm actually just looking at flights from Prague to Bilbao. I don't have a ticket, but I will be going. Come hell or high water, I will get there and be there because I want to be there.
You've got to be, haven't you? You've absolutely got to be. How does this make you? Does it make you change your feelings about Ange in any way? Like, no negativity here. Like I said, I just want to give all credit to Ange here. He's gone against the grain over 2 legs, and actually, let's say 4 legs, including against Frankfurt, and he's done what needed to be done.
Yeah, no, I've always been behind him. I think we've had discussions, and I've had discussions on Chris's program with other people as well. I've always backed Ange. I was disappointed, annoyed during some of the league games. It just didn't make sense. But ever since the first game I went to, which was the AZ Alkmaar game, I thought we can. It was just weird. I thought, we can do this. I know what he's doing, and I started looking at other managers, their positions in the league when they've actually, won cups. Especially even Pochettino, when he got us to the Champions League final, we weren't doing particularly well in the league. So I was thinking, maybe it's a kind of alchemy. Maybe it's going to be our turn this season against all the odds. Yeah, no, I'm really so happy for the man. It's not an easy job at all, and I'm happy for all the fans, and happy for yourself. You run these programs, and Chris going to all the games, and fantastic.
But Steve, let me ask you: if he wins the final, it's a big if, obviously. Do you think then the Spurs fan base suddenly have such a feeling of goodwill that they're like, okay, we just let him go? Because what I would say is, and listen, this is obviously recency bias, but he will say in any meeting with Daniel Levy, look, if I have that back four available, then we are hard to score against. Look, you even saw Udogie and Porro clearing at the back post, headers at the back post tonight.
Yeah.
But is that naive?
No, I don't think so. I don't, everyone, I know the injuries were over a certain period of time, and then he had the back four and various people came back. But a lot of people forget it takes a long time for players to get back into their stride, as we say. Look at Kulishevsky at the moment. He's a shadow of the player he was. Benton Kerr, after his injury, was a shadow of the player he was. And it takes a lot of time for them to get back fit. So to get those players not only fit, but then to gel within the system, I still don't think he had enough time. And we were all a bit too, well, not me, a lot of fans were a bit too eager to say, well, he's got the back four back, or he's got this back, and he's still not winning. No, I would personally say keep him on. How can you not keep a manager on if we win it? Even if we don't win it, personally, I would keep him on, because with that side, under all that pressure, all those injuries, he's still got us to a European final. For me, he's done extremely well.
Okay, and Steve, listen, you're an older man like me, an older fan is what I mean, an older fan. Where do you place some of these players who have taken us to a European final in terms of the pantheon of players over your time? I feel like, a lot of those players have got a lot of stick over this past season, and maybe rightly so. Yeah. But I personally think when you look at someone like Mickey van der Ven and you look at Romero, when you get them on the pitch and you get them in the right mindset and fit, there are very few centre-backs I can think of in the time that I've been watching Spurs who better them, by which I can only really talk about, I think, Ledley King, Jan Vertonghen, and Toby Alderweireld. And you'd have to say that if Romero and Van der Ven could get on the pitch fit as regularly as Alderweireld and Vertonghen did as a partnership, then we would be in the top five for sure, I think.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with you with that, because don't forget, in the era I was watching players like bloody Mike Englander at the central defender, the old centre half, number 5.
Steve
Perryman. A different kind of defender. Just basically they're good in the air, but these guys are extremely good with their feet. So in the modern era, definitely in the last 20 years, they're up there. The pair of them are up there as top. Central defenders. Mickey van der Ven, absolutely solid tonight. Romero looked like he was really up for it tonight. Not only the header for the goal, but
agreed.
He was chasing people down and a lot of pumping out the chest, and I think they were all up for it. It was a great night to see. They were really together, for want of a better expression, weren't they? Especially at the back. They seem to be very just up for it as a team, and now they're there. I think Romero is actually, as long as he doesn't get himself sent off, is going to be crucial in that final against Man U.
I completely.
I would make him captain. I wouldn't want anyone else as captain. I'd make him
I have
captain.
to say, Steve, sorry to interrupt, but I've been trying not to bring this up because I'm determined not to show any negativity tonight. But we have ourselves a similar situation as we had for the Champions League final, which is our kind of our kind of face of the club, the captain in this instance. Son coming back from injury, and would be a temptation to put him straight in, but I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't. He's not even, in terms of filling a space or category as Harry Kane was to us in those days. He's not that relative to us now. You know what I mean? We're not missing him that much. We played very consistently. I don't care. I'll say it. Once Richie went off and Johnson went off, we were much more solid as a unit, and it just worked better.
Yeah.
Maybe the other side were tired.
I think he'll be a brilliant option off the bench, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. When they get a little bit tired in the second half, maybe after 60 minutes or so. Definitely, if we're not in the ascendancy, but I hope we will be. I believe we will be. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd bring him on the bench, definitely. And what a player to bring on. What a player to bring on for the last 30 minutes or so.
Exactly. Steve, thanks for being part of the show. I've got to let you go because I've got so many people to talk to. But
thanks, Barnaby,
come on, you Spurs.
I really enjoyed it. And come on, you Spurs. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I'll see you there. Top man. Okay, next up, Gary. Gary, you've been very patient. Thanks so much, mate. How are you feeling after that brilliant night for Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, mate, I'm on top of the world, mate. Top of the world. Do you know what? After 2 minutes, when it started, after 2 minutes, I was just so calm. I haven't been that calm for as long as I can remember, to be fair. I thought
Harry, I'm just going to interrupt because I'm going to tell you, I feel exactly the same way. And I felt exactly the same way in the first leg as well. But I cannot say it out loud because I'm so afraid of like jinxing it. But I was just like, oh, and actually I felt the same away from home at Frankfurt as well. I was like, oh, there's something about this lineup, setup, performance where I feel incredibly calm. And that's why I'm going to give, once again, I'm going to say I give credit to Ange Postecoglou for that.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You've got to give, you know what, he's taken a bit of a kicking this year, hasn't he, this season? But in fairness to him, both legs against Frankfurt and both legs against Bodø, obviously last week and tonight, I think he's got it spot on. Totally professional performance, something to be proud of, Barnaby, for a change.
Agreed.
This season's been horrific, let's be honest, in the league anyway. But you know what? We're going to Bilbao. And do you know what? I think we can do it as well. I really do. I think we're on a roll now.
What makes you think that then? What makes I assume what you're saying is you're more confident going into this final than you were the Liverpool Champions League final. Kind of try and sum that up for us.
By far. I think Liverpool, at that point were far superior to us, in my opinion. Whereas I think Man United, we're kind of on a, the league positions would state that we're on a par. But it's nothing to do with the fact we've beaten 3 times or anything like that. I just think they're tailor-made for us. I think we can beat them. I really do. I'm so confident. And that's not like me even, not when it comes to Tottenham anyway.
No, it's not like me either. So talk me through Gary, who really impressed you for Spurs tonight.
I thought the unsung hero was Bentancur. I mean, it's what he was, he was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And it wasn't anything in particular that he did. It was just everything that he did. He was filling gaps. He was, stopping their play, breaking it up. I thought he was brilliant tonight. That's the best I've seen him play for a long time. And it goes totally under the radar as well, to be fair. I thought Porro was excellent, Solanke was excellent, as all the other guys are saying. I think everyone was excellent, to be fair. Everyone put a shift in. And that's something, that was a performance we can actually be proud of. Not like some of the dross we've seen this season, to be fair. And like I say, hats off to Ange. I've given him a good kick in this season, but I think he got it spot on. It's absolutely spot on. That was a tough game tonight.
Yeah, and I think that shows that Tottenham fans are real football fans because we're able to say, listen, we don't like this guy, but not to the point where we're like, oh, you put in a good performance and suddenly we still don't like the guy. We're like, this guy, one thing you have to say for Ange, I think that I don't think any Tottenham fan would ever disagree with is he seems to have a way of understanding what the players want and also of talking well in the press, even though sometimes it's clear he says some absolute bullshit.
Crazy stuff,
But in a way that's almost like always trying to protect his players.
Yeah, definitely. And hats off to him for that. I just think, I don't know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? You hear everyone saying, well, and I've said it myself, even if he wins it, he's still got to go. But you know what? After tonight, I'm just like, oh my God, but that's just me.
I think if he wins it, there will be such a feeling of goodwill that imagine what on an open top bus parade that any of us would say Ange should go. I've been saying this for a while now. I think the most realistic thing if we win it is that he will resign, and that will leave us with a feeling of, oh, maybe we should have given him more. But anyway, I don't want to talk about any negatives at all. What I just want is just to drink it in because I feel like now, listen, there'll be some people. You've heard Wenger this week saying teams shouldn't get it or whatever, and there'll be people who are saying, "Oh, it's Bodø Glimt, it's only Bodø Glimt." But do not forget, they have not played a game where they haven't scored at home
absolutely
for a long time, and we kept them out and we made them absolutely struggle for 2 legs, and that where for me Ange has to be given more credit because he, we all know Jed Spence is one of the best players all season, but he has brought Udogie back in. And he's brought back that back four from the first 10 games of last season. And they have proven why they are the best back four for us.
Absolutely. And the bit I loved the most, Barnaby, in all fairness, was right at the end. When I think it was Romero steamed in with a tackle and Porro chest to chest. That just shows that they are playing for him. They do actually want to win. Do you know what I mean? I know it might seem like it's the other way round at times. But that tonight just showed me, and I'm really confident. I'm really confident we can beat Man United. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to end on that, Gary. I love the sound of it. Thanks for being part of the show, mate. Got loads of people to talk to, but I
thank you,
appreciate
mate. Take care, Barnaby. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Next up to a regular Null. Null, how are you feeling tonight, my man?
Barnaby, what a night. What a night.
What a night.
The first thing I'll say, Barnaby, is it's not very often that Melvin is lost for words. You know, and I feel a wee bit like that myself, actually. Very emotional after it, you know, because I've been following Spurs a long time. I have seen the European triumphs, but tonight that was all about grit and passion and determination, and everybody playing for each other, and couldn't be prouder, actually. I was actually at the stadium last week for the match. I met Chris and Steve, actually, one of your previous guests. What a lovely guy, and very disappointed to actually concede the goal. But I never actually thought we would lose this game. I actually predicted 1-0, but the performance all over, it's really made me proud and very emotional afterwards. So I agree with you and all the other guys. Like, there's some fantastic performances there. And while I was waiting for it to come on, I was actually seeing Solanke's contribution to the game. And I thought maybe Romero was man of the match. But after seeing, you know, I actually would agree with Solanke, definitely man of the match. He linked everything up, you know, it was brilliant. But the whole performance, I thought the spine of the team was amazing. And you talked about Dougie there to your previous guests, but, you know, he has actually brought the balance back into the team. Like, Spence is a wonderful player, but, you know, a right-sided player on the left side has to cut in, and you lose a second. But Dougie has come back the last 4 or 5 games. I'm really impressed with him. His distribution of the ball, his awareness, you know, in interception of the ball and linking up on the left-hand side. I think he's been instrumental. And, you know, that to me gives me a lot of confidence in the back four. Topasuma did very well, actually.
Yes.
A wee bit dodgy, maybe 1 or 2 things in the first half, but grew into it, did the simple things and did them well. Bentancur was excellent. Kulusevski, bit rusty, but still kept going for 90 minutes, which was a good sign. Who played on the left? Was it?
Let me just interrupt quickly, because I just want to ask you one question. Talk me through why you think Tottenham could win this trophy in Bilbao.
Well, you know, we have actually beaten Manchester United 3 times already this season, and we're arguably the best team in all 3. Like, you know, none of us had a good season so far. Yeah. And I would be if I was going to Bilbao to play Bilbao, I would be a lot more worried. I think we know what United can do and what we can do. And, you know, man for man, I think we're a match for United. And I think it's all about getting the attitude right and going out there and, you know, going out there to win. There's no point in being the bridesmaid. You know, we're going there to win. And I think we can do it. And I think, you know, we've all been critical of Ange, every one of us. I was supporting him all the way, and I sort of lost my way a wee bit, and now I'm back, you know, to think, you know, that he is. It's an upward, as you know, Barnaby, supporting Spurs is roller coaster. One day you're up, the next day you're down.
I think the thing for me is I would like to see Tottenham go into a Premier League game.
Yeah,
and we're not going to see it till next year.
Yeah, of course,
if at all. But where we play that way, where we're like, okay, Vicarius is going to kick it long every time because we know that every time we go short. And it's like what we did tonight that was brilliant was we earned the right to then play our football when the ball broke to us in midfield or wherever, and we could pop it out, and we scored those 2 goals. The game tonight was the equivalent of a difficult away game in the Premier League, like a Crystal Palace away or a...
I don't actually agree with you on that because, you know, Bodø are not that physical. I don't think that I don't think that Tottenham actually Spurs don't handle the physical side of it. I said this year before, the disappointing thing for me all season, like teams like Newcastle in particular, horsed us out of games. We were horsed out of games too nice. And I think it's something that has to be addressed for next season. So, you know, I think actually
sorry to interrupt again, but Noel, do you think if Spurs had tried to play a more physical game against those teams that we couldn't have done? Because we actually tonight, down the spine, if you look at Solanke and Bentancur and Romero and Van der Ven, we have enough physicality, especially when Richarlison was on the pitch
Yeah.
as well. We have enough physicality to go in the Premier League and try and duke it out in that way. But it's almost like Ange has no interest in it.
I think actually it's a bit of naivety as well. You know, the high line game can be very difficult. You know, the amount of games that Spurs have thrown away this season, you know, 2-0 leads against Chelsea, Brighton comes to mind. I think the commentator said something tonight, like they've thrown away, you know, 12 or 13 1-0 leads. So, you know, the ability is in the team. It's just a question of tweaking the system. And I think maybe Ange has been a bit naive. And I think maybe he's getting a bit more street savvy now. And I think he has to, you know, to win games like tonight, you know, you have to go in with that attitude. And, you know, I didn't see that, you know, playing on the halfway line. I think there was periods.
None of that.
Yeah. I think there was periods in the game where maybe in the third part of the first half, you know, Spurs were struggling to get the ball, and everybody stood up, and, you know, everybody, you know, did their job. And I think that Bodø really, you know, there was one or two maybe half chances, but nothing really. We restricted them very well. But, you know, the break that we have when you have players like Udogie who can actually go, I'd love to know what kilometers that guy actually covers in a game.
Yeah.
It must be incredible. I've never seen the stats, but what he gives you on the left-hand side, I think we need something a wee bit more on the right-hand side. I think the right-hand side is a wee bit, you know, Johnson, I agree with you tonight. He did well. He did actually tackle back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a naive challenge, and I think it was actually a very good move to take him off and put Sarr on and put Kulusevski over. I think when that happened, actually, Kulusevski came more into the game because I think he's been very rusty after he come back. I think he's a fantastic player, but he just hasn't been, you know, at it yet. And there's maybe just one big more game in him, and that would be wonderful if it was the final. And you were saying, Barnaby, you're on the way no matter whether you get a ticket or not. I actually won't be going. I know I have to go into hospital a few days afterwards for a back operation, so I can't walk very far these days. So that's that. I'll be supporting, obviously.
That's a shame.
I remember the first European final I saw. It was an all-English final in 1972 against Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves, and 2 legs. We won.
And the great Martin Shivers, you know, like scoring from about 45 yards, you know. Like those were, like that was a wonderful team. And you were talking about centre halves. I do remember one in the 80s. Richard Gough was a real
only played for us for one season though, didn't he? Then went off to Rangers.
And he wanted to go back to Scotland and went back to Rangers. And he was actually our captain at that time. Yeah. What a great player he was, you know.
Listen, Noel, I have to let you go because I've got a couple of people to speak to in the next 5 minutes. But thanks so much, mate. Amazing.
I'm delighted. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Okay, Gary, thanks for being so patient. Really appreciate it. How do you feel tonight, my man?
Excellent. I remember before to admit it, I wasn't actually that nervous. I really wasn't. I thought that we'd do a job, not as easy as we did. I mean, Jesus, we were just so solid. I think I want to use that word. We were just solid. And you know how you asking the other guests, you know, who was the man of the match? For me, I didn't think anybody was overridingly better. I just thought everybody did a shift. Everybody did. I thought Basuma was good. I liked Romero. Everybody just did their bit. The jigsaw puzzle just worked tonight.
And is that credit to Ange Postecoglou for getting that jigsaw puzzle right?
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, you know, I've slated him a lot this season, but you know, give him the credit. He knew what needed to be done, and he made the players do it. And that was I was good. And it was interesting because everyone's talking about me as well. Jed Spence should be in there, but you know, the balance of the team with Udogie there playing on the left like he does, and Porro on the right, it just worked. And we made them look on their plastic pitch very ordinary.
No, I completely agree. So what gives you the confidence that we can go to that final and win it?
I think it's our year, and the fact that we've beaten Man United. 3 times this year, and I don't think we've lost to them in a couple of years. Now, some people might say, "Oh, they're due," but no, not me. I just think it's our year. I think we'll do it. I really do. I really do. This is it. I'm not worried. I'm just looking forward to it. I just think we'll win.
And that Son conundrum, would you have him back in the team? What do you think?
I would have him back in the squad. I think Son this season is best utilized from off the bench. I wouldn't have him start, because that's just going to upset the balance, just like we did a couple of years under Pochettino when we played Liverpool in the final and we decided to play Kane. It's like, no, just bring him in, because it'd be nice to see him play, especially beating Man U as a club captain for what he's done for us. It'd be nice to see him on the pitch and pick up the trophy, but not to start. No.
There you go, Gary. Sorry to cut you short, mate. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Really appreciate it. But
excellent. Thanks.
Cheers. Have a great rest of your night. Cheers. Bye bye. Okay, next to Paul. Thanks for waiting, Paul. Paul, how are you feeling, my man?
Absolutely fantastic. Amazing night. I'll be honest with you, I was a little nervous. I think the goal they scored last week kind of, for me, knocked the stuffing out of the performance a small bit, and that kind of just 2 goals. I was a little bit worried, and my stomach was turning all day today, and I just wanted to get on with it. But after 5 minutes, we had nothing to worry about. We were, right from the start, we were in complete control, and it lasted for the 94 minutes. We had nothing to worry about. Right down the spine, we were absolutely
Paul,
incredible.
tell me, sorry to interrupt, but I've got to be quick. Tell me, what makes you think we can win this tournament?
Like Null said previous, man for man, I think we're a better team. We've beaten them 3 times already, and I just think we'll,
here's the interesting thing for me. I think these are 2 teams in the final who both struggle against teams who shut up shop and play deep. So I do wonder whether both teams will go to it and be like, well, we're going to do that. And it might end up being a 0-0 drab fest, or just hoping that someone pulls something out the bag, which I would worry might be Bruno Fernandes. But like I said, no negativity tonight. But I just wonder how both teams will set up.
Yeah. No, look, you have a point. I think, I think we have better players we have more players to hurt them than they have to hurt us. And I think just being on the front foot like we did last week against Bodø Glimt and just go at them early, I think we could get it done not fairly easy, but I think we'll get it done. Absolutely.
Paul, thank you. I'm so sorry for cutting you short, mate.
No problem.
The Spurs Chat podcast is going to start in 5 minutes. Thanks so much for being part of the show. I'll speak to you again. Top man.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Okay, guys, that's the end of the fan show after Tottenham won 2-0 and 5-1 on aggregate and reached the final of the Europa League against in Bilbao. Sorry, can you tell I've had 2 beers? 3 beers. 2.5 beers. On the 21st of May. If you'd like to appear in a future episode of the fan show, email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. It's really important to us. The channel gives everyone a voice, particularly from those around the world, all around the world. So wherever you're from, please do get in touch.